Good now, everybody, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Lighting. I promise you, we'll be sitting behind my desk. We'll have a bright illuminated setup in a minute, but first we got to make the donuts. You know what I'm saying? We got to make the coffee because it is morning somewhere, and by morning somewhere, I mean morning here. We're just getting started today. Ricky and Lucy and I have been up for a little while and looking at the news, looking at the comments. How are you today? Let me know if you're tuning in here on TikTok, where you're tuning in from. If you're one of our friends, say hi. If you're just seeing my face for the first time or for the first time in a long time, then hey, let me welcome you back. If you're joining on YouTube in the future, we're glad you're here. This is your place for helpful news, commentary, and answers to your crypto questions. Because learning about crypto can be like drinking from a fire hose. But if everybody who has questions brings them into a community and we all do a little bit of research, share what we know, learn and grow together, that's how we rise up. And that's where the show gets its name from. So if you have crypto questions, questions about Bitcoin, questions about the other tech that is becoming a bigger and bigger part of our life, we'll do our best to answer it. How about that outage over the weekend from CrowdStrike? My goodness. I was not affected as a person who doesn't really use PCs, who didn't have any big plans, but talk about critical infrastructure, highlighting a big time need for decentralization. Woo, man. Alex, thank you very much for the kind words. I'm glad you're tuning in. I appreciate it. Hey, Doug. Hey, you too, man. I'm looking forward to that story when you get a second, or that explanation of, what was the word? You know, it's morning somewhere and it's morning in my brain. I'm looking forward to it when you have time. Sonoran, thanks for being here. Yeah, let me know. Was anybody here affected by those outages? I'm curious about it. Knowledge art, that's right. Yes, knowledge art. Here comes Will. Or not. Maybe Will got rugged by CrowdStrike. There he is. Good morning.
No, CrowdStrike didn't get me.
Oh, hang on. I had you quiet. Say it again.
CrowdStrike didn't get me. I am
There you
safe.
go.
However, I did take the opportunity to open up my laptop at 9:20 because I was just like my work laptop, just being like, I swear to God, if my Outlook and work email's working, I'm gonna be pissed off. And it was working, unfortunately. But I did get notified by a member on my team. He's like, hey, don't reach out to any clients because if you do, they are gonna hate you. I was like, man, that makes sense because they're just like putting out fires across all these different companies. And I was like, well, that makes sense. So then I just like closed my laptop again and I was just called my girlfriend and I was like, beer garden, 2 o'clock? And she's like, beer garden, 2 o'clock. I'm like, hell yeah!
Oh
Let's
my
do
God.
this.
I'm very glad that that's how it went for you. I had the same experience where I was up late at night. I couldn't sleep, and I happened to see that it was unfolding, and did a little looky loo. And my girlfriend uses the PC. She works for a company that's like that, you know, they do a lot of everything in her life is PC, Windows, whatever. And I was like, oh, she's surely not going to have to work today. And I texted her and I said, baby, you know, like your computer might not work, but don't worry, it's not a cause for concern. It'll be okay. And she was like, my computer works just fine. I was like, well, sorry about you.
I also really hope that Alex is wearing a white shirt so we can pretend like we're at like a all white party with Drake.
Oh my gosh, Alex, if you're not, you have time to change before I bring you up. Here it comes. Let's
I feel
see.
like I've never seen Alex in like a white shirt. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's not his. Oh, damn
Nope,
it.
black. Son of a bitch. Fuck, dude, you didn't get
Is
the note.
that is that
Well,
really a question? What color shirt I was gonna be wearing?
No,
no,
I
it's
mean,
not, but the poly market was going wild.
The what?
Poly market, it was going wild, speculating that today would be the day you finally wear a white shirt.
it'd be weird if we all wore white on the day where you wore white. It'd be like there's a glitch in the matrix.
That
Yeah,
would be weird.
people would
That
think
would
we were filming the show from heaven.
Yes,
that would be evidence of a greater conspiracy.
I drank my white water bottle.
Yeah, yeah. It is the black and white show today on the Rise Up Morning Show, apparently. So let us know what crypto questions you have. I am going to step over here and make some coffee. Yeah. Who's got something for me? I got some stuff we could talk about, but I don't have anything earth shattering. Mostly just catching up on you.
Yeah, it's just kind of catching up, or no shirt Mondays. Well, we have the Ethereum ETF going live on Tuesday. Yeah, tomorrow, which is perfectly timed with Bitcoin and Ethereum being in overbought territory. So classic. And then that'll go live, and that'll be a sell the news event. And then Grayscale is going to sell some Ethereum, and then all of crypto is going to go down, and then it's going to go back up afterwards, and then we're going to go up and down and up and down, and then but it'll be mostly up for a while, for about maybe a year or so, and then it's going to be mostly down after that. And there we go. That's the market, guys.
So,
Trade.
Will, on that,
That's about it.
Yeah.
I had a question that I was not super. I don't think I was going to give a great answer. I said that's a Will question. So, you know how we can say that something is overbought or oversold, and I know that it has. The question was, how can it be overbought right now if it's been oversold when the price was higher before?
Great question.
And I just said, I know that like it's not just about price, but I think it has something to do with like the velocity of trades or the volume or something like that. But I was like, I don't really know.
It just depends on the indicators you look. I mean, like it's really just a matter of semantics, right? It's like if something is overbought. I mean, like hell, last week and the week before, we just entered overbought territory in Bitcoin on the daily chart, but on the weekly chart, it was oversold. So which one is it?
It's an RSI thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's on the stochastic RSI. But you can look at other indicators too. Where
anyone else who's watching for the first time and doesn't know, tell us what RSI is briefly.
Yeah, so what the RSI and what the stochastic RSI do is basically they're just two different versions of momentum in the market to let you know when the market's too overheated or too oversold. It, along with all indicators, does not have a 100% accuracy in any way, shape, or form, right? So it just helps to give you like a general sense. It's like, oh, should I be looking to sell? Should I be looking to buy? And then when you look at indicators, no matter what indicator it is, well, that's not true. The overwhelming majority of indicators, this is true, is it gives you a far better sense as to what's going on in the market the longer time frames you look at. So the monthly chart, far more impactful of telling you what the general trend is in the market than the weekly chart. The weekly chart gives you a far more accurate image of the trend that's happening in the market than the daily time frame. And then the daily versus the 4 hour, and then anything below the 4 hour is absolutely worthless to look at, in my personal opinion. Unless you're like a crazy granular day trader. I
will say the only time I ever go below 1 day is if I'm like minute by minute gambling on a meme, in which case I am watching the 1 minute chart.
Horrifying.
It is horrifying.
Horrifying.
Some of them have been so sketchy. Man. I was going to say some of them have been so sketchy that you're riding the 1 second chart.
Yeah, but to the question, like, how do you know a market's overbought or oversold? It's really just kind of semantics. Like you'll watch my update video and be like, oh, it's overbought in the daily, but it's oversold on the weekly, and you're like, huh? Just go with the weekly if you want. We should probably all just kind of reference the weekly chart when we're trying to talk about overbought or oversold as opposed to the daily time frame. But yeah, it's really just semantics. What looks overbought to somebody, if they really are, it depends on what charts they spend their time looking at, which time frame of charts they spend their time looking at. So you'll get a different answer from different people.
And in terms of the question that the price, when somebody is trying to understand the difference between price and supply or demand, that's an indicator you'd point them to. But are there any things just fundamentally you guys would say? I always feel like I also am often talking about my perception of value. Like to say a cryptocurrency is overvalued is another thing I feel like I personally end up saying more. When I'm talking about like its market cap compared to usually its competitors, or its market cap compared to a different version of itself in something like Web 2. I think there are a lot of products here that just kind of move in a funny money way because we have so much speculation. And I'm trying to think of a good example right now, or a good example from last, I don't know, last run or something like that. Maybe a good example we were talking about in the Discord, and I guess you've seen this. Will, is it called Alien Base, Unbase, the new decks? There are a lot of
Yeah.
new dexes popping up, and it
I
sounds like
just,
that.
I just pumped it 65% apparently.
Oh yeah, man, way to go!
Yeah.
That's what I mean to say. I think there are
Damn it, Will, why didn't you tell me you were going to do that?
right.
I told everybody not to buy it, just to put it on the radar screen. But apparently, radar screen is right next to the buy button on most people's computer or phone.
Will,
So
listen
it's
to me.
Wumbo, man.
This insider trading thing doesn't work if you don't let me into the inside.
I
Okay.
know, that's what I said in my video. I was like, shit, I need to buy these coins first before I tell everybody about them. I was like, God damn it. I'm a crypto TikTok creator. I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Of course we buy. Of course we buy high and sell low. The dexes, just generally dexes. I'm not speculating about Alien Base, but they're like, I don't know. They're getting hot again. I am noticing. Somebody in our Discord, Simon, was messaging me about Auto Shark Finance. I don't know, Alex. I think you might remember that. Will, if you ever heard of that, it was hot years ago, and now it's back again. And it's one of those dexes that'll pop up out of nowhere. It'll have a cute token, chicken tendy swap, alien base, whatever. They all start out as like, I gotta get in right now. There's a dex token I can buy. It's got 1,000% APR, and it might have a market cap of a couple million. And there's always this moment where you're like, is this thing actually worth anything, or is it just a copy paste of whatever your favorite dex is with a different token that you can get some liquidity from right now? So I think about that a lot more. Obviously, with Bitcoin, is it overbought or oversold? Is like a legitimate metric that you're looking at. But I think about that market cap, and is something overvalued or not, when it's mostly just, you know, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, with the DEX, it's easy, I feel like, because you just have to look to see if the total value locked, the TVL, which means the money that's being kind of used and moved around within that decentralized exchange. If the TVL is increasing, but the price is not, then that means it's undervalued, or it at least isn't at its fair market price, right? Because its price has not reflected the value it's delivering to users. That's how I found Aerodrome back in November.
That's a great metric. Well,
Yeah.
and the other one that I love that you gave on the show is, if a DEX has that kind of volume, um, comparing it using DeFi Llama and comparing any DEX to another DEX to see, what's your realistic expectation here for market share. And also, I think, I don't know, there's room in the sea for plenty of fish. There's so much opportunity in DeFi if you have enough attention to get enough liquidity to set you up and do something meaningful.
I do have a question, but it's I just want to see if you guys knew this coin, because this one dude's all up in my DMs from the Solana team trying to get me to sponsor it, and it's TARS AI, TARS AI. It's like the AI coin backed by Solana Foundation or something. And I think I remember looking at it before, and I think it was just like some like venture capitalist money from one of the guys that's the Solana team was like put it towards it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it at all. I'm going to do my research on it today, but I was curious if you guys could give me a head
I
start.
would love to hear your deep dive, but I remember we talked about it a while ago, and my impression was that was somewhat misleading. Like there was
Yeah, that was my impression also.
from the Solana Foundation, or from from someone tied to Solana, but they represented as if like Solana is going all in
Solana's
on
like backing it, but instead it was just like some venture capitalist investment, which is just people throwing money at a ton of stuff, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's my impression of it, and I feel like I remember looking at it and thinking this could have potential, it could be interesting, but it seemed like a fundraising thing. And I'd be curious to know who that person in your DMs is. And I do feel like, Alex, can you confirm this? I don't know if it's Mertz or someone like that. I do feel like I've seen people closely tied to Solana, the idea, talk about AI and maybe even TARS as an example. But I don't know that I've ever heard anybody in like the crowd, the circle, be like, yes, we are Solana. This is TARS. You will love it. We are glad. You know.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that because I remember looking into it. I think on a live, someone asked me about it, and I was like, AI backed, and looked it up, and I was like, this isn't what it says. But apparently we're gonna get a lot of marketing videos on TARS this week, guys. Just FYI, get ready.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You would really think that's been my number one piece of advice every time one of those things has reached out to me. It's like, either I forward them up to try to work on something for the show because like I'm not going to make the video, but we could totally do a longer spotlight where you can give appropriate context and all that kind of stuff. And I just hate making those videos.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'll be like $10,000. I'll make one video for $10,000.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. I have a son to adopt. I mean, $10,000.
I just always think like, guys, okay, someone at these things has got to figure out at some point that it's bearish if they get 30 influencers to all make a video the same week. Like nothing makes you look worse.
No, it's nothing makes you look worse than having every influencer make stuff about your coin. Like that's one thing. It's like people who like. So I know that Josh Jake, and I believe him when he does a deep dive on a coin, and he's like, I think like the team's legit. I believe him. I've heard other people say the team's legit, and I don't believe them. About chain swap, and Josh was like, yeah, no, like team's actually like pretty solid in terms of like the developers and like the technical people, and I was like, okay, well, hey, that's nice, but at the same time, their brand. Let's assume that chain swap is going to be exactly what they say it's going to be, right? Let's make that assumption in this scenario. Their brand has been so damaged that their ability, that if they achieve that, it will be it's a surprise when any altcoin project achieves what they are aiming to be doing in general. But it will be such a surprise to everybody that they won't believe it because they've already made their mind up that ChainSwap is a scam because of the branding mistake they made by pushing it out to KOLs, key opinion leaders, which is a title that I really hate. But it's interesting.
It is also tough just because we are in the most echo chamber of all echo chambers here. Like people on crypto TikTok have one very singular opinion about how things look, and then if you venture even just to Twitter, the opinion is different. So that I don't know. I thought the same thing about ChainSwap, but I will say too that nothing is more bearish for an altcoin than accomplishing its full roadmap.
Yeah, nothing than accomplishing its full road. Yeah, there's no more exciting announcements. There's no new update.
VeChain really shot itself in the foot by just having a plan and doing its one plan and then not having another plan.
Yeah, they didn't rebrand. Well, I guess they did.
Yeah, kind of. What do they?
Kind of. It was a light rebrand. They didn't change their name or anything.
They changed their color scheme.
Yeah. They changed their color scheme, and then they went, we're going to do supply chain. They said, we're going to be the China of Ethereum. They said, we're going to go back to supply chain. Yeah. Hey, does anybody in the chat have some questions?
Yeah, because I'm at my desk and I can do more.
Like the flakiest of croissants for us to dive our teeth into and crumble upon the chest of our shirts.
While we all decipher that, last week I had mentioned a gaming project re-rack in my own portfolio. And so I have an update, and it actually worked out better than I thought. So on the first day when we were looking at this, I mentioned swapping out of so much Avalanche and adding Ronin/Immutable. And I kind of explained, if you didn't hear, basically what I said was, at the time, the charts of all three of those looked almost identical. They had gone on a pretty big rally up in March. They had been going down, cooling off ever since. They'd all had a small little, blip, like little re-rally. And this was last Thursday. And then on that particular day, they were all down the same percentage across the board. So percentage-wise, they had the same movement since March, roughly. So, like up 30%, down 20%, whatever it was. So I was like, now, even though I don't like selling things on a red day, this one made sense to me because they were all down equally, and I wasn't just like selling out into stable coins to keep it. I was swapping from Avalanche into
Yeah.
And actually, as of today, so I waited a couple days. I was like, I'll let you guys know if I do it, but right now I'm just looking at it. I decided to wait, and turns out that was a good hunch, because on the week now, Avalanche is up 20, while Immutable was only up 9%. So it was a healthier flip. I will turn the same amount of Avalanche into more IMX.
Yeah,
and so
for 11%, which is nice.
Yep. So today I swapped half of the Avalanche into, or I shouldn't say today I swapped. I'm about to, as we sit here and speak, and I look at the percentages right now. Swap half of it, and this is not a tremendous amount. It's like, we're talking about a few hundred dollars, not a ton. I just don't want all of my gaming exposure to be on Avalanche with their one huge blockbuster compared to Immutable and Ronin, who have multiple. And Ronin is in a very similar position. Actually, let me check on the week, because I want to say that it was similar to So, and they were on the week, they're only up 5%. So this is an even bigger swing into that one. So just if anyone's interested in exactly what I'm doing and my reasoning, there you go.
Yeah, I'm currently, well, congrats on that, by the way. I'm currently fighting the continuous urge to put my Orange, which is a coin in the Bitcoin development space, Bitcoin DeFi, into whatever stable coin I could get within Alex Lab, which is the decentralized exchange built on stacks, just because I feel like I hate it now. I feel like it's the coin in my portfolio that I just look at it. I'm like, I hate you. You're a disappointment. And then I just want to roll it into Alex. I'm fighting the temptation of selling it into a stablecoin today. But the thing is like, and I've seen this before. I've had coins in my portfolio that I hate, but are such a small market cap. I think Orange is like an $8 million or like a $12 million market cap right now. That all it needs is one big altcoin pump across the board, and it's just immediately tripled in value, overnight,
Sure.
And then I just go, cool, sell. So that's what I'm waiting for. But I'm fighting, I'm pulling my arm back. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That I can definitely relate to that, the desire to get rid of something and it just not be in the best position, and then you're kind of sitting there asking yourself okay, well, I've had this thought about some of my dinosaur bags, the things okay, well, it's not down, but it's not really moving much, and all of this other stuff I feel has a higher likelihood, and my conviction is now weakening here and it's strengthening here, and I wish, and I'm but it could pump, and I just need that last little bit. And I think really that's just an unhealthy, Will, I know you're in a different mindset than maybe someone looking at it for the first time would be, but it's a tough cycle to fall into, because it's really hard to get out of that. Once you keep kind of telling yourself all I need is blah, whatever, X%. Spoiler alert, it's probably never going to be totally satisfying. And that's where the plan comes into play, because you gotta just commit to something and then probably just pull the trigger. For me, it was holding too much eagled leftover from stuff, and just watching Solana kill, and me being why I shouldn't be tying up capital in this near stable coin that has been decimated, while this is all even, just up, down, 10-20% on a semi-weekly basis right now, which has been great for swinging, because I sold a little bit more SOL at 184, 183, something like that yesterday. Not much, just a couple of them. And so hopefully now I have a little pile of stable coins, and if it swings down, I'll put it back in and I'll have more than I had before, and be happy, even if it goes down further, because it's still Sol, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I just have a tiny bit of USDC right now, ready to probably scoop up more Moonwell. Probably what I'll do. But like another thing on the topic of like mindsets that are dangerous, and just like emotions in general, is I saw like one question. It's like, Will, are you happy you sold Cocky Inu after like it finally flew up? And like I feel like I've seen Cock kind of go up, and there's the slightest ping of like regret, but at the same time, I took an investment in an ecosystem where I'm like, well, what if the Avalanche ecosystem gets hot? And I took that money into something with a higher conviction play of like, I know the base ecosystem is hot. And so like, I see Kakinu going up and I go, it'd be nice if I still had it. But at the same time, I'm like, I have it in a place that I'm way more confident in. And that comes with experience. And I know that younger Will, Wes Smith, he said cock. I know that younger Will may have taken my money after selling cock low, going into something else that didn't move, and then it moves up, and then I try to go back in and time it up, and then it goes down again, and then it's just compounding losses, you know? That's and I see people in my DMs too, who are just like making moves like all the time. Like, I just did this, what are your thoughts? And now I did this, and it's like the same person telling me this, and I'm just like, and they're like, why am I losing? And I'm like, dude, just like read your messages. You're making too many moves.
Yeah.
You're trying to be too smart, and most of us are not smart enough or experienced enough to play that game. You can't. It's hard. It's hard to beat those trading bots, guys. They are way
hard. It's not. Yeah, it's very tough. I think we should be hearing from. This was only in crypto. Can you have this conversation? I was talking to a friend of mine who's a marketer, and she was asking me about sending this Telegram trading bot company to us on the show to, do some coverage of, have them on, whatever. And so we're having this conversation about, marketing and Web3 and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, and what's the product? And she's just like, Banana Gun. And I've never heard of it. And I'm like, brilliant.
Like that.
Banana emojis in the chat if you've heard of Banana Gun, and monkey emojis in the chat if you haven't.
It's just like, this is my industry. I was like, Banana Gun. Yep, of course, that's what we're talking about, naturally.
I mean, it makes sense.
I've not personally used it, but I actually have heard it's pretty great. And most of these Telegram-based bots, like that's the meta now. If you're like, oh, I haven't started trading bots yet. If you're a meme coin trader, especially, then doing it with a bot is like, welcome to the future. You will experience faster trades, less slippage. You do it all from Telegram with the click of a button.
So those of you who have used it, is it a good one? Because I've used a couple, never that one, but it's on my short list to try.
I also would like to try. Obviously, I would like to try it. So stay tuned for that. I haven't seen any bananas or monkeys come through. Banana bot.
I saw Crypto Angel's question come in. Alex, that's this. I feel like a question for you. Shrapnel, is it moving to Ethereum? Has there been talks about that? Because I know it's on Avalanche.
Not that I've seen. Unless they have multiple, I'd have to look. Not that I know of. There is no Shrapnel on ETH, so I would be careful.
Speaking of moving to Ethereum, check this out. Sonoran gave us a question. What do you guys think about Neon? I bought some a month ago, and the price is up about 40% on the 24-hour. And Neon is I had not heard of it, or if I had, I have forgotten it. The buzz phrase for it was it's
the bridge on Solana, yeah.
Yeah, but the way that they specifically talk about what they're trying to do is making it possible for developers, not just bridge your assets, developers to take their Ethereum dApps and move them to Solana. So giving them cross-chain functionality, which to me is, we talk about the utility, Part of the utility is BananaBot or BonkBot, making trading easy. That is the utility. Games being fun to play, that is the utility. The utility is when you can take your DApp here and play it there. That
Yeah.
they're doing it well is a super, super great product. It could, of course, just be speculative value. And something that catches my eye, I always am cautious about buying green candles. 40% in a day is big. It's about 750 million market cap, but the fully diluted valuation is, excuse me, it's about $41 million market cap, but it's about 750 million valuation. So there's a big difference in the supply that's available, which represents that market cap, and the fully diluted valuation, which means there are a lot of tokens back here that either VCs, early investors, founders, team members are hanging on to, or that are in a smart contract somewhere that will become released on the market. I would want to, before I bought into a project like this, I obviously want to do some more research to see, is there proof in the pudding? I would want to see how much of that supply is held by people who are looking to dump it on me, and will the demand for this kind of token continue as those tokens come onto the market? So that's a lot. That's a lot of tokens. That's like 5% available to waiting to be released. That's a lot.
Actually, Neon.
A lot of tokens like that go.
Neon was on my buy list. I made a video on it near the end of 2023. Because I really liked what it was doing. I liked the team. I liked what they were trying to do. The only thing is, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but their tokenomics, they have a high inflation of their supply. I don't remember any of the details because when I made this video, it was 8 months ago or so. But yeah, their tokenomics, their supply is not great. But a coin within Solana that does something critical for Solana from an infrastructure standpoint, pretty attractive in my eyes. But I haven't looked at Neon in a long time.
Yeah, and to just like try and figure out, can I get a pulse on what does this do? This is called a parallelized EVM. EVM is an Ethereum virtual machine. Parallelized means they are running an Ethereum virtual machine on a different network. They are extending the function of Ethereum by bringing their dApps to other places. I'm pretty sure SEI did this. Also a token that I remember looking at a long time ago, but one with some more proof in the pudding. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that was their function, was to be a parallelized EVM. If people are like, where could this go? What could it do? Says, it's in the top 100. I think it's at like $1 billion market cap or something. I could look it up. Imagine that. But that's like where I would go next in my research at this day, at this moment in time, if you're thinking about it. Hey, Will, can I ask you a personal favor?
Sure.
First of all, I saw in the comments that you have a German accent. Gonna need to hear that. It would have been better if we both just could have ambushed Alex with German accents and he would have wondered if he'd gone crazy. But the second thing I'd like you to comment on, possibly in your German accent, is can we work out an Arrow sponsorship? Because I'm pretty sure the number one question we get when people see that you're currently live is just Arrow. What are they doing? Where are they going? Where have they been? And I think you should be sponsored by Arrow. And
I know. I get so many questions about them. I probably should. I guess I should go
have like the Arrow update
use Farcast and reach out to people. Machiste, can you help me? Can you help me get in contact with Coinbase?
Yeah. Do we know anybody who is on the Aerodrome team? If we do, I really think better than almost anybody I know. Like that's your sponsorship, Will.
Yeah. Machiste says sure. Yeah, I am the person who first started talking about it. My claim to fame for this cycle. We'll see. Also, PopCat. Dude, PopCat's gonna be my first 100x. I am 30% away. I need a 30% move in PopCat, and it's my first 100x of the cycle.
That would be great, man.
Oh, yeah. I only had one 100x last cycle, but I think PopCat will be the first one, and then the second one will be Aerodrome, which is hilarious.
I think I've only had one. I think it was Safe Moon.
Whoa.
It was a long time ago.
You got into that Ponzi scheme early.
Got me on early. Yeah,
See,
everything else I
if
mostly
you
am,
early.
am late to the party. I'm
Well,
early, but not that early. You know.
no, Machista, that's all right. Imagine telling a TradFi trader you just need a 30% move. Yeah, dude, it's easy stuff. Alex, do we have any updates from our Coinbase friend?
So I spoke to her yesterday, and we're going in the right direction. I guess it just takes a while to line everything up. And she mentioned something about legal and grants being in the works, and I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? Okay. I was like,
Okay, whatever you guys need.
it's like, you don't need anything else from me? She's like, nope, we're good. And I was like, all right, well, I sure as shit didn't send you any legal paperwork or fill out a grant application, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever we need to do to get his time.
But yeah, so
And Pete L, I'll satisfy your question while also satisfying Evan's response. Your question is, would you still buy Aerodrome at the current price? And I'd be like, once I was buying Aerodrome at between the 51 cents, but also between 51 to about 58, I had the dollar cost averaging, placing the button. I was like, yeah, this is good. And now I'm switching to Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is Austrian. But yeah, anyway, I was dollar cost averaging into that, and it was great. It was good time. Because the Germans are good time only. Do not read the history books. Just go to the club in Berlin. Nothing bad happens. And yeah, there you go.
If you are asking me, I would say anything under a dollar is, if you are looking for a position, perhaps a good spot to start. But there is opportunity for anybody. If what you're doing is moving to the United States, it's a different land of opportunity.
you guys,
where we grew up.
Evan's German accent is more of a German accent. Mine is more of like a little German boy's portrayal in like a German fairy tale with like the lederhosen and like, uns ja, I have the chocolate,
He
ja.
wants to be a real boy. He really, really does. Wonderful. Will, you must go to school. School is where you become a real boy.
But school has no chocolate.
It reminds me of my favorite German accent from pop culture lately has probably been the Three Little Pigs on Shrek. It's giving Three Little Pigs from Shrek.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I love it.
well, anyway,
Yeah, now that we've thoroughly Germaned ourselves out, are we buying Miggles? Machiste said forever ago, and I just ignored him. I haven't bought any Miggles yet. I just like.
I haven't either, because now that everybody's talking about it, it's too late.
I think so. I was looking at it the other day. I was like, wow.
I minted the thing because it was free. But I haven't taken any gambles. I haven't stepped into the casino in a hot minute.
The casino's hot, man.
No, the casino is hot. And everything everybody's talking about is over $100 million for the most part. I haven't heard anybody talk about anything that's less than that I would actually buy.
Yeah, Machiste.
I did. I guess my only casino step was to take a little bit more Pepe profit, some Pepe profits, which is my favorite thing to say.
Somebody asked a question, which is, where can I buy? And they were talking about PopCat specifically. Quick little tip or hack is, if you go to CoinGecko, you can look up just about any token, and you can find a tab on your browser or your mobile version that says markets, and it will show you the different exchanges where you can swap for this token. Looks like the leading swap for this token, PopCat, is Orange X. And then if you need their website link,
the leading exchange is Orange X,
according to CoinGecko, but that's centralized exchanges. I would imagine it's not.
Oh, okay, that it makes a little more sense, I suppose.
You could also probably buy it on. You could also probably buy it on. Well, let me look at this. Check this out now. I'm surprised that they don't have. Oh, they do have Radium. It was just further.
I'm gonna say just use Jupiter.
Yeah, just go use Jupiter, Radium, or just swap it.
Or you could use BunkBot. And I bet probably BananaBot or PhotonBot to buy it from Telegram.
As I understand, the reason that the BananaBot people or gun people are
Banana Gun?
Yeah, as I understand, they are an ETH They're an ETH bot, and they are adding Solana functionality, and that is the purpose of the marketing push.
But yeah, you can go. I think I bought it right on Jupiter for Popcat, or I just swapped it directly within my Phantom wallet.
But my God, it's almost $1 billion. Like, where do people think the memes are going? I mean, they're huge, they're hot, they're here. I'm happy about it, but I just I don't know.
I keep telling myself that like I should probably just pull my Popcat out now. But when Popcat moves, it moves always 8% at a time. Just like no matter how big of a market cap it keeps getting, it's that saying that like money begets money. And, like people just want to throw money at it now because it's like it's successful. But I can't wait to sell. I already know that when I get my motorcycle, I'm going to be buying it with the money that was generated from Popcat, and I will have my license plate be Popcat.
Will, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was visiting Mac once when he lived in Dallas still, and he took me to this just place in Dallas. I don't remember the name of it, but some ultra wealthy, section of the city, and we're just walking around looking at cars, and we were passing in front of this restaurant, and sitting in the valet spot was this like deep emerald, beautiful Rolls Royce, and the license plate just said "Thanks AMC."
Yes, nice. Thanks. My God.
We waited for a little bit because I really just wanted to see a 17-year-old kid walk out and get in it
Into this beautiful Rolls Royce.
We waited for a few minutes to see if we could shake someone's hand, and we never did. And then, of course, there was also a McLaren with the Nyan Cat wrap on it, which I was like, and he had his like Instagram handle, stickered on the back end, and I was just like, okay, that's another one.
Yep.
But
beautiful.
Thanks, AMC. Hell of a trade.
Can I ask you guys to zoom out and do a quick PSA with me, a round table of taking profits? I've seen it come across twice in our live today, and I think this is always a good thing to talk about. How do you take profits? When do you take profits? And what does that look like for you as a crypto investor?
You take profits when you are in profit. And if you have a price target set, that's a good place to start. But if you are worried about selling and because you think it's going to go up an extra 2x or whatever, just understand that if you sell and you were in profit and you made money, you won. You won. If it is never a bad idea to sell if you are making money.
What do you think?
I will say the single biggest disservice you can do to yourself is getting into a bad headspace because someone else won more.
Yes.
Someone else winning more does not mean that you did not also win. And that's okay. The single biggest flip that I've had internally to start succeeding, and take this, with the experience that it required, because this took 3 bull runs. First one, I had no plan and I got hosed, and I was barely paying attention and I had no clue what was going on. I was just like, ah. And second one, I was like, I am a pro. I am crypto. I know how this works. I am going to make so much money, and I lost more than I could have ever, way worse than the first one, because I made a plan that was so freaking convoluted. Like, okay, for every 25% that the price of anything goes up, I will sell 15% of my holdings, and then if it drops by at least 20%, I will rotate back half. And I was just like, I already forgot what I just said just now. And it became a plan that I could not possibly execute, because every time something was like up 20%, I was like, I should take some profits, but didn't hit my rule, so I'm not going to. And then it would crash. And I'm like, so I just rode the thing up, down, up, down, up, down. And then finally, we're like way up. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess, I should sell something or whatever. And it was like, no, this isn't the blow off top. So I just kept the whole bag and I rode it all the way back down into the bear market and kept basically the whole thing all the way through. This time, it was like Will said, it sounds stupid and simple, but for real, it's just on days when it's been green several days in a row, or if the weekly chart is double digits green, I just sell a chunk, a good chunk. And I kind of just like make up my mind when I'm looking at it. Like, okay, well, half of this right now and half of that right now and, whatever. And just put it all into USDC. And if I get the vibe that like it's going to be sitting there for a while, I'll send it to Coinbase and start earning 5% or 5.5%. Because like, why not? And then at least I'm not wasting any time.
Yes.
And then if the moment arises where I'm like, okay, you know what? It's been red for 2 weeks in a row. Like, here's a number I was looking at, or like, here's a chance to lower my average on something I like or whatever. Then I'll buy a chunk. And there's no percentages, there's no numbers. It's just like when it's been red for a while, I'll look at getting some stuff. When it's been green for a while, I will absolutely make sure that I sell some stuff. And I've done better than I ever have before. I'm not swimming in it, but like I have not lost a penny. I'm up on everything. My averages of everything are low. Yeah, I mean, I sold, like a good example, I sold Solana at 183, knowing full well that it could go to 210 tomorrow or, over the next week. If ETF speculation carries it up, or if, this, that, or the other thing happens, whatever. And it's just coming to the understanding that like, if it does, I still made money because I bought it at 80. And that is the bag that I just sold at 180. So like, that's good. Could it have been better? Yes. Could it have been worse? Yes. Did I win? Yes. So that's really been it. It's tough to pull that emotion out for sure.
Yeah. One thing that I've looked at, two final things I'll say on this is, one, making my selling strategy as dumb as possible, I think will make me the most money.
Yes.
And for me, as I've said on the channel a few times, once January 1st, 2025 comes around, it's 5% off the table the first of every single month as we move forward, and I'll adjust it. The other thing that gives me a lot of confidence on that makes me feel good about it, is if you look at the Bitcoin, there's a chart that shows the amount of long-term Bitcoin holders, largely Bitcoin whales. And when the price of Bitcoin is going down into like in the pits of a bear market, the amount of long-term holders is actually going up because whales are buying again, right? And as the market is in the last year of a bull market, the last year and a half really, the amount of long-term holders typically starts coming down because the whales are averaging their way out of the market into the people diving in who are going to be their exit liquidity. So I'm like, cool. So the best investors in this market are selling like ever so slowly right now, like already right now in this moment as we talk. Like, I need to emulate that more, because if you go and you look at their wallets over time, the amount of Bitcoin they have just keeps going up. And, that's what I want. And that's the recipe for success. It's just the opposite of what your emotions want to do.
Yeah. The only thing I would add is that I think for most people, there is a slippery slope of attention and steady losses. Like if you are starting with $1,000, there is a temptation to buy everything you see and get exposure to every narrative. And soon you've got $10 in 100 different tokens. And then when you're taking profits, you're doing the same thing with your profit taking. Like, wow, it moved up 10%. I'm going to take profits on this one. I'm going to buy some more of this one. I'm going to take profits. And you're managing too much, generally speaking, is the mistake I see most. In addition to just not taking profits, an over diversification of money and attention. And maybe you can do that. If you've got, the portfolio management tools, you got, 12 monitors and you sit at your computer all day and mainline caffeine and vape, and that's you. Awesome, man. Way to go. I don't like having to pay that much attention. And I also have found that when I simplify my profit taking strategy and the amount of things I'm paying attention to, I am trading less. And I tend to be getting less small gains, but I tend to make more right decisions. Like I haven't really sold a lot Sol, for example, Alex and I both hold Sol, is why I'm talking about it this way. I'm contrasting my strategy to his so that you can see, the thought behind it. Alex has been doing more moving when Sol goes up or down. So I would be willing to bet that his bag is up a lot more than mine. But what I'm hedging my bet against is I have conviction that Solana is going to move a lot more than beyond like $200. I think a more realistic target for Solana towards what I would consider the peak of this run is going to be a new all-time high. I think Solana will probably set a new all-time high, personally. I have conviction in that. And I am more interested in selling one time when it gets close to that, accumulating when it's down, when I have the opportunity, when it's a good price to buy, and then selling one time. Mm-hmm. And I will be okay as it approaches that if I miss the top, but I will feel good for myself taking profit up here instead of taking profit here, because there's a chance if I take profit here, it's going to be the day that it goes up here. And I just don't want to miss that. And I didn't have to pay this much attention because I have lost a lot of money by timing the buy and the sell, over investing my attention and missing everything altogether. Different strategies. The important thing is to pick the one that works for you. And I think the answer definitely is simplify. Whatever you're going to do, make it simple for yourself. So you can't not take profits. And when you do, you can take that money and pay your taxes. You can take that money and buy yourself ice cream or a motorcycle. You can reinvest it into stocks, real estate. You can put it in a stable coin on the sidelines. You can put it into Bitcoin. A lot of crypto native people just like to take profits and put it into Bitcoin. There are many different options, all of which will have to do with your personal risk profile and your time horizon. Are you trying to be out of crypto altogether? Do you want to hold crypto forever? Who knows? What's your goal? Know yourself, know your goal. It'll help you make better decisions.
Yes. And one other thing I want to say right now is because my emotional state and like mental state in this cycle is so much different than the past cycles. Better? It's better, but like in the last cycles, the first cycle where I knew nothing, I was excited and blinded by the excitement. In the second cycle, again, like Alex, I was like, I'm a pro, know how this works. And like, I did way better than the first cycle, but like, I still made so many mistakes because I was cocky. And I was like, it's gonna do this. I know it because I'm smart. And now I'm terrified. This market scares me. Even though like I have conviction and confidence, like I'm scared when I look at this market, because I know how badly I can get burned if I'm not smart by simplifying things, but also like there's a genuine possibility that there is a global economic collapse. Unemployment's on the rise, and there is nothing worse for an economy than people not having a paycheck. And this time around, when people don't have a paycheck that they got in COVID, people are like, oh, asset markets did great. I'm like, yeah, because people got paychecks from the government. When people don't have a paycheck, it's the worst thing for an economy. And people aren't hiring as much right now. And if that continues, and even if we start getting interest rate cuts, those are still pretty high interest rates that are still applying a lot of pressure on the market. If something breaks and there's a huge increase in people not getting paychecks, hold on to your asses, because we're going to have one hell of a fucking downtrend for about 6 to 8 months. And no one knows when or if that's going to happen. And so with that sitting there, I am terrified, because in the first few markets, this was 8 years ago now. Like I was in my younger 20s to later 20s. I'm now 31. And like, I need to do well this cycle because I have things that I want to do for myself that I feel like I need, from like like a little bit of it, like an ego standpoint, but to have like confidence in like myself as how I view myself, of things that I feel like I need to be able to do and to provide for like myself, my parents who are getting older, and like the family that I want to start, right? Like I need this money, and I am horrified at the idea of not getting out with money to be able to do those things, as well as to get to another step closer to be able to get to my retirement goal of 40. And so like if I mess up this cycle, those plans are pushed back. And I just like I'm it's a horror. Like I look at the market scared. And I think that it's the best place to be emotionally, because if you're scared, you're gonna get out. And getting out with money is way better than being confident and holding that bag way too long. So yeah, that's just kind of like my general thoughts on the market. It's like weird because like I look at the market like scared. It's like it's a genuine place of like fear and anxiety. Despite like being confident and like I'm confident that Aerodrome's going to go up. I'm confident that Bitcoin's going to go up. I'm confident that Jupiter's going to go up. Blah 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 blah. Right? There's confidence there, but the overwhelming emotional feeling in this market right now is fear. For me.
Yeah, I would agree. Fear, uncertainty, and this sort of veneer of like, especially dulled by, there are really exciting things happening. Like Solana and Base are launching on-chain experiences inside of social posts, and trading bots are making the meme coin casino as glittery and as fun as it's ever been. And we're getting ETFs and all of this stuff that I would say is very bullish for crypto and brings forward progress. I don't know. I feel the same way. I think it's good to feel that way. I don't think
I think so too. Because like if I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't be setting the selling strategy that I have now. And I think that's just gonna be very, very good. I'm also fine with like when Bitcoin eventually gets up to, let's say, like the 90K range. I'm fine with looking at some of my altcoins and being like, 50% of you gone. Like stable coins.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Thank you. There we go. USDC. Thank you very much. I'll buy back in one more time in the correction and then look to trade that one more time and then get out and ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said, live like nobody else today so you can live like nobody else tomorrow.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
So someone was asking about if Solana does anything except memes.
Oh, that was Cosmic. Hey, Algorand doesn't even have memes. Ha!
Yeah.
Ha!
But they do have the best commercials in the game, I've got to say. Their commercial, whoever's doing their commercials, I don't know where they air, but whoever's doing them.
It's a social media thing. They produced that after a community member wrote the script for it. And
Really? The hot dog one?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, they have another one that's a hot dog where I'm buying a hot dog from you on the street. It made me think.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that one.
It was pretty good. And they said, okay, he said, she says, that'll be $1.03. And he says, okay. And she goes, on three. And they both go, 1, 2, 3. And then they wait. And she says, okay, let's try again. I mean, I thought it was really brilliant. It was really smart.
Yeah, I don't know. The grocery store one I thought was funny, except I don't know why Bitcoin was in there. Like, rip on Solana, rip on ETH, like rip on your competition. But putting Bitcoin in there just was stupid. And it like made the whole thing not land for me.
But can you blame them? And can you blame everybody everywhere who's like,
yes.
Yeah, but I mean,
yes. Yes, absolutely, I can blame them. Yes. They know that Algorand is not run by idiots. They know what Bitcoin is, and they know how stupid that comparison was. If
your job is head of marketing and your paycheck
head of marketing, though, exactly.
You're aware of what the narrative is, and you don't have to tell a better story because you don't work for the Rise Up Morning Show. Like, wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you do it? Everybody everywhere thinks Bitcoin is the currency kind of thing.
I'm the wrong person to ask about that.
You are the wrong person to ask about that. I think 99% of people in that job would say that was the move. And
I mean, it got everyone. I'm still bitching about it. So clearly, it was the move.
Yeah, clearly it was working. We're talking about it.
And I said that in my tweet about how I didn't like it. I was like, I will say that it was a good marketing move because here I am making a post about it, talking about it. So clearly, it worked. Get that disclaimer out of the way.
Yeah, but let's also be clear about this. If I was going to launch a token today, somebody asked about where would I launch a token, DMI or I'm sorry if I missed your username, but like I would not launch a token on Algorand. Would you?
Fuck no.
Why?
No way would I.
Okay, why?
Like,
There's no
There's no
liquidity.
one
Is it
there.
because of the tech? That's my first question. It's fast, it's cheap, right?
no, and no one cares about the tech. No, it's because there's nobody there. There's no liquidity,
Don't
there's
care.
no buyers, and there's no market for it, and nobody cares.
Exactly, 100%, absolutely.
Attention. If you were going to launch a token, what networks would you use? And bonus points if you give me a tool that you're going to use to do it.
Yeah. Listen, here's the secret. Every time a crypto influencer tells you that so-and-so is great because of the tech, they have no fucking clue what they're saying. They don't know what the tech is. They don't know how it works. They don't know why it's better than any other piece of tech. And if they do, they're going to read you a brochure. They just don't know. I see people with literal PhDs on Twitter writing, 14 to 25 tweet long threads breaking down like the tiniest discrepancies in tech and the tiniest nuances in tech across these different ecosystems, and they are debating with each other. So the idea that a crypto TikToker has any fucking clue what they're talking about is laughable. Okay? But that's fine. You can still get a whole lot. I always say you don't have to be an auto mechanic to take your car to the grocery store. So that's fine. I just don't like it when people blow V8.
Yeah, the only way that I can ever think of if something has good tech is if like developers are using it and things are being built on it. Then I just have to go, okay, I guess the tech is good enough.
But so the other day, here's a great example. The other day, I was talking to a developer who is helping me with something. They are mostly Solidity, but they tangle with Rust because they dabble on Solana stuff. And he looked at Multiverse X at the website. Specifically, he didn't know anything about it. There was no bias. There was no opinion coming in. It was just a developer who was looking at his toolbox. And he opened up the toolkit, the dev library, and he was just like, what am I looking at? And I was like, I couldn't tell you. Like, I can't read that stuff, so I don't know. He's just like, I can't use this, dude. There's no search. It's like, I can't. It's like, I just searched for the most basic command and it didn't pop up. So like, now I don't know what they must have called it something else, but there's no index or glossary to tell me like what they would have called this or the equivalent or whatever. He's like, I would be done. I don't know what to do now. It's like, I guess I could just like throw something at the wall and see if it helps. But like, why would I ever tangle with this unless I was being paid a lot of money when I have all of these other things? Like, there's a good example of, but every sycophant on Twitter will tell you that Multiverse X has incredible tech. And what does that mean? They don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah, no one really knows.
Especially
because like all the names for like this technology is new. Like I remember I was just recently reading the white paper for StoneFi, and their technology, the name they have for their technology was a new name, and I don't even remember off the top of my head. And in my research template that I use to like compile information, I was like, I have no idea what this is. So I just like copied 2 sentences from their white paper, and I was like, this is their explanation as to what this is, and I have no idea what it is. I have no idea. Like, and if you're a technical person, all this new technology is being used. You might not even be familiar with these new terms and terminology. You have no clue. Yeah.
Can we get an index on CoinGecko that is, you know how they have like, oh, these are all gaming tokens and these are all bridge tokens or whatever, exchange tokens. Can we get a category on CoinGecko that is the best tech tokens?
Best tech.
Crypto Machinery said ICP, from what I hear, has the best tech. But depending on who you talk to, what I need is an objective measure of all the tokens that have been labeled as having the best tech in a list.
Spoiler alert, Evan.
So
Just
let's
call
get
it-
on that, please.
Just call it tech good.
Honestly, that would be a great April Fool's Day joke for CoinGecko to play. They could have like a couple categories just for lulz, like most sycophantic founder, most the best tech. They could have, I don't know, you know. I think that'd be
Hey
great.
guys, I gotta hop off. I gotta do a few things before work beckons me.
Got a quick last thought?
If you want me to talk about your coin, Venmo me $10,000.
Yee.
Brilliant.
Or join us in the Discord, and you'll see Will there.
Yeah, guys. I'll see you all in the Discord.
Bye, Will.
Bye.
So
That seems like a good time to tell you, if you're not in the Discord community yet, what the heck are you doing? It's where the show lives 24/7. We're here Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time for like 90 minutes or so. But if you have a question for us that we don't answer on the show, it's free to jump in the Discord, get in that general chat, and just let us know what you're thinking. Or if you want to post a link, I saw somebody posted a helpful link earlier today about the partnership between Avalanche and Amazon, and it is lost to time in the context of this chat. I will never be able to scroll back and find it. If I do, I won't be able to copy it and paste it. But if you put it there, then I can find it. And it'll help us answer your questions. The best thing you can do if you want to learn crypto, forget about watching your favorite influencer on TikTok. Forget about us even. We're not here to just tell you how it is. We are here to help you become a more sufficient, like totally capable investor, speculator, enjoyer of the crypto space and all it can become. Best way to do that is to get into a community with other learners just like you. And of course, while it's free to join, always will be free to join. If you want to accelerate your learning journey, we do have classes, we have coaching, we have different opportunities that you can take your learning to the next level. All of it is available at the riseupmorningshow.com. Or, you can click my bio, click his bio. We'll help you find it. We'll get you in there. Alex, what...
Well, I never actually answered the question that we got off on this tangent about tech.
Oh, about the tech. Yeah.
So the question was, does Solana do anything besides memes? And the answer is yes, absolutely. They do pretty much everything. There are massive staking and DeFi opportunities on Solana. Honestly, even if you go back to last bull cycle in the kind of 2021, 2022 era, and before, that was really the biggest selling point, before the meme thing really became a thing, was DeFi and payments on Solana. As a payment processor, that was really its goal. So like a lot of the issues that we've had congestion related now have been not to do with like processing payment and simple transactions, which was kind of the point of the network at first. Give me a little bit of slack here because I'm regurgitating things that smart developers have told me about how these things were built. Solana was not necessarily made to like do all the NFT stuff and to do all these weird, other token variant stuff and whatever. Like they are, and it works and it can be done, but that really wasn't the point. And the reason it was originally a thing was for DeFi and for payments. And in that respect, it works quite well. So there's lots of different DeFi opportunities. I mean, obviously you can stake. There's the whole meme casino. There are games. There are messaging protocols. There's a tremendous number of developer tools. They just released Blinks, which is short for blockchain link, which is kind of a way that you can, I'm trying to non-dev this.
The way that you can integrate an on-chain experience like buying or swapping crypto into a social post.
Yeah, you can dress up the front end in such a way that it becomes very intuitive and very user-friendly. And actually to Amsfar, to your point about UI, the Blink is a legitimate step forward in the UI conversation. I won't disagree that the X Portal app for Multiverse X is a nice looking app, and that you can kind of get around. And there are a lot of different things you can do out of that app, and that they've had it now for a little while. I would say that the MyR app was just as good, if not better, because there wasn't quite as much stuff in there. So it didn't get so clunky. And navigation, took some getting used to, but at the end of the day, it's still a regular wallet that works the same way that a regular wallet works. So the actual user experience has not been altered. It looks different, but that's very much not the same thing as the UX improving. And until very recently, the UX was really the same everywhere. You had, and when I say UX, this is what I mean. If I want to send Evan crypto, I have crypto, Evan wants the crypto. We each have a wallet. I have to type in his wallet address, hit the amount that I want to send him, hit send. I have to get the transaction sent to me for approval. I have to approve it. It gets sent to him. He receives it. If I want to mint an NFT, I have to connect my wallet to a thing. I have to confirm how many I would like to mint. I have to make sure that I have the gas for that. Then I have to go back to my wallet and I have to sign the transaction. Then it has to send me, and there are multiple steps. That's the UX. The UX is not what color scheme is my wallet in. The UX is not, they called sign something different. Like now it's approve versus sign. Like these are all little tiny changes that are aesthetic, but they're not functional. And no one improved the UX for a long time. We didn't have any UX improvements between last bull cycle and now until very recently. And all of them have been improved thanks to Solana and Ethereum by way of Base. And the UX, the genuine like UX improvement that we saw on Base, for example, was something called a frame on Warpcast, where you're scrolling on a social media feed and you see an NFT that you want and you just click mint and that's it. That is a UX difference. I'm not connecting a wallet and doing all this stuff. Like my wallet I have turned on a feature in my wallet to allow Base to mint stuff for me there. I've given it that permission. And I click mint and it's already all set up. I set it up one time. I minted the thing and now I have it because I clicked that one button. Solana just did that also with something called the Blink, which is what I was talking about. Blockchain Link works the same way on Twitter. If you have it's called Dialect. I'll put the link in Discord. But you can get a browser extension called Dialect. They have this thing called the Blink. You can be scrolling on Twitter and I could see Mert post that Helios is now offering increased APY to anyone who stakes through this Blink. I'm just making this up, for example. And I could just click on Twitter, right on his post. There's a button that says stake 5 Sol with Helios. And I just click stake and that was it.
It's going to pop a little transaction up in his wallet and he'll sign it. Done.
Yeah. It's going to open up my Phantom wallet extension and be like, are you sure? And I'm like, yep. And I just staked 5 Sol. That is a UX improvement. So that's what I'm talking about. I do like Warpcast. Like functionally, it works well. There's really not. There is, of course, always bots on everything, but comparatively, like Twitter is obscene with bots. TikTok is more than obscene with bots. So that part has been really nice. There's a few features about Warpcast that I really enjoy. It's definitely a little bit of an insider's club. Like I've been going pretty hard on Warpcast for a couple months, and I have not been given the power badge yet. I'm not sure why, because they give you a list of like, hey, do this, that, and this, and you'll get your power badge. And I've done all of this, that, and this, and I've never gotten it. So I couldn't tell you. To the point where Dan Romero, Jesse Pollock, and Brian Armstrong are liking posts of mine, and I'm still not seen as a valid user. So that's kind of weird. So it's been frustrating, but it works. It works well. For what you're doing, I guess. I enjoy it. I prefer it to Twitter for sure. I've not really been using Twitter as much since stepping it up on Warpcast. One, just because it's exhausting to maintain too many social media profiles at the same time.
Tell me about it.
So Twitter has basically just become a place where I keep in touch with business contacts that I meet at conferences because everyone's on Twitter.
And if you want to reach us, we just had a couple of comments from our friend Focus Kid was asking, and I saw also looks like that DL was asking if you want to reach us with something that's an attachment. Discord is a good way to do it. You could send us a DM there, but also we have an email address that's at theriseupmorningshow.com if you want to send us something. And that's an email that Alex and I would both have eyes on. Honestly, you'd probably reach us faster through Discord though. You can send attachments and stuff there. We just tend to check it more. But you can find it all at the show site, theriseupmorningshow.com. That's something you're interested in.
So I hope that answers the question. What is Solana doing? The short answer is everything. They have their hand in everything.
And it's not even that they're doing all those things so much as people are paying attention to it and using it. That's right. Like that's the thing.
I wouldn't even say they're doing all of them particularly well. But what they are doing is trying. They're working on it. The foundation is incentivizing developers to try, and developers are having a good experience trying. And that's really like what's required. I've said before that really all that it takes for a blockchain to succeed is for the foundation in charge of talking. Hold on, the dogs are about to lose their shit.
Okay. So then I'm going to take a quick question. Is Warpcast worth it if you're trying to set up a Web3 business? Absolutely. If your customers are mostly Web2 customers, no. If your product is Web3 native, yes. Definitely. Absolutely. If you have like a link, an on-chain experience, even something that is like a traditional experience, but you want to do it on-chain, like you want to do a click-through game, a choose-your-own adventure story in a frame, and somebody can mint an NFT at the end, and that's your business, the Warpcast is the place to do it. 100%. 100%. We both have referral links in our profile. Tori can get you one. It's easy to get on there.
Yeah,
Web3 currently Web2. Okay, real quick then. Tell us what your business is. If you're like a dry cleaner or a marketing agency, and most of your clients are like you're having to sell them on Web3 is the future, you don't need to be there. If your clients are people who work at Base, Coinbase, Uniswap, whatever, you should be there. Sorry, Alex, I didn't mean to rug you.
Yeah. It has a pretty nominal cost. I think it's $5 a year, and it's not on it. You can't like subscribe to it, so it's going to like ask you again in a year for $5 more. Because when you make a profile, you are minting the name on chain, and then when you do stuff on Warpcast, you are often executing transactions, and so that $5 they just give you the gas for the year. Which is really nice. Especially if you're a regular user, you definitely get way more than $5 worth out of it. And there's no like, I at first I was thinking like, oh, that might keep people out, and then I realized like everyone I was talking to is actively paying $12.99 a month on Twitter for nothing. I was like, okay. So
I saw an interesting report the other day that was speculating that Twitter, a lot of the volume and activity is just fluff. That it might be like a few 100,000 daily active users. And I wish I could remember who posted it. I engaged with it, checked it out, and then kind of scrolled past. They had a couple metrics they were using to deduce this, but I was like, yeah, doesn't surprise me, honestly.
I saw a figure too that was really surprising, and the way that it was written, it was clearly someone exaggerating, because they were like 99% of the content on Twitter comes from 1% of the users, and I was like, but I genuinely wonder what it is, and I was trying to kind of figure that out, just because. I mean, holy crap, dude! You look at a thing, and you look at like the comments hidden underneath it, and it's just like there's dozens every time. If MetaMask posts a tweet, there are hundreds. I mean, they like those big ones. They literally have to just not let anyone comment on stuff to prevent the bot spam. Like it's egregious. And these are like verified accounts, running the thing. The whole thing. Actually, I had an interesting talk with Vanessa. Not a talk, a quick comment exchange a few weeks ago, because she was like, I can tell you right now that what'd she say, that the liberals are like overrunning Twitter because it's all I see. And I was like, I have the exact opposite experience, that I would say that the ultra far right is overrunning Twitter, because that's been my experience. And she's like, interesting. And we were just sending each other screenshots of like the ads and everything, and it's just like, it can tell what's going to fire you up, and it's just pumping rage bait into your face all day long. And that's all that Twitter is doing right now. It's really hard to use. I don't know. I have a terrible experience using it. So I, canceled it. I was like, whatever. I was paying because I was like, okay, if I need to use this for work, then I probably need the visibility or the verification thing to be taken seriously. And I was like, I don't care. Nobody cares.
Yeah, It's all it's all about attention. It's all about attention these days,
Yeah.
you know. That's the TLDR is whether you're talking about crypto, you're talking about Web 2 tech. It's definitely about attention.
Evan, so
Uh,
I was just looking through some of the comments in the general chat because I was like,
yes.
if you guys have a comment or a question or something, and you're limited by TikTok comments because they don't really give you very many characters, I'm watching the general chat in Discord. You can throw it over there, and I will see it. So Rick was just asking a few minutes ago about, kind of the same thing I was talking about, swapping Avalanche for Immutable, given the percentages. And then he had another example, which was swapping Cosmos for Solana, I think it was. Just as an example of like, what if you have lost conviction in this and you have more over here? And so to that, I would say same kind of thing. So if I remove whoever we're talking about and just try to make it general, if you have two cryptos, Drew, okay, good to officially
Might have
meet.
to remind us, Drew. But
If you have two things, A and B. Let's say you're holding A, you want B. You no longer believe in A. You're liking what B is putting down. Right now, so if you're looking to swap in out of A and get B, really the only thing you have to do, try not to focus too much on like, okay, well, it's green today. I can't buy anything today because it's green, or it's all red. I can't sell anything today because it's red. If what you're trying to do is not take profit, but to swap from one to the other, you don't care about it being all green or all red today. You care about what the difference is between the two of them. So if you, here, I guess case in point, if you bought A and it's up 30% today, and you bought B and you want B and B is up 30% today, you might say like, today is a really bad day to buy B because it's up 30%. But your A is also up 30%. So if you just trade, you're in the same position. That way, if it comes down, you're kind of still in the same spot. But if it goes up more, you're in the same spot as well. Okay. Evan, I'm having a lot of fun watching you.
My little A and B, man.
What you care about is the difference. So if you want to swap, that's it. Just run a comparison and kind of keep track of that. So for Rick's example, Cosmos and Solana. Right now, I would say is not a great time to make the swap from Cosmos into Solana because Cosmos is flat. Solana is up 20% this week. So you're getting a bad swap rate if you go in this way, right? But if Solana comes back down and now they're kind of equal again, it would be a better swap rate. Your amount of Cosmos will turn into more Solana if you buy it lower, obviously. So that's really the way to look. Evan, you're killing me, man. I'm gonna cover Evan. I think I get some credit for being able to legitimately string a sentence semi together while Evan is dancing.
That was my A and B show. I was just giving you a visual aid so you could focus entirely on explaining.
The moral of the story is look at the percentages on like the day, the week, the month.
That's right.
And
the ideal scenario would be if you have a conviction that you really believe in, a token you really believe in, that you want to swap into, and you happen to just have the good fortune that the one you're swapping out of pumps, that's like a little extra liquidity. That's like buying a dip.
Yeah.
If you are having a bad day over here and your token price just keeps going down and this price keeps going up, the distance between them is farther. You got to climb a lot farther. You're going to sweat and toil and worry to get up that mountain. Your dollars don't go as far. And swapping for something like stable coins, if you got tokens that are doing this, might be the way to go instead of waiting and timing.
Yep.
And now it's been a year and you still haven't bought it yet. But
yep. No, that's a great point, that you don't have to swap. Like, let's just keep this example running because it's easier than A and B. You don't have to swap all of your Cosmos into all of your Solana right now. You could just be like, I have much less conviction in Cosmos now, and it's up 5% today. So I don't want to buy Solana because Solana's up 20% today. So I'm just going to sell the Cosmos into stablecoin and wait for Solana to correct. And that would be another way that you could play it. Plus, like we said, you could always, depending on how long you were comfortable waiting, you could always send that USDC over to a Coinbase account and just start earning 5% on it in the meantime. And that way, if you end up sitting there for 2 or 3 months waiting for it to go down, at least you're earning some interest
Great point.
at the same time, which is cool. And there's other things you can do with, you certainly don't have to use Coinbase. I'm sure there's other stable coin yields and stuff. Yeah, that has been that kind of adjustment has been the single biggest reason that I have done better this time around than I did last time, is because I was finally able to. Thanks, Doug. I've never seen that one before.
Right, what a cool gift, right? With great power comes great responsibility, Doug. Now that you found the gifting finger, don't blow it all, man. They go quick.
So anyway,
I think that's very well said, and I think that kind of brings us back to where we started. Fest. I don't know what fest means, man. So it might be a good time to say, if you've got a last thought, good joke, question, suggestion, a word of wisdom as we're heading out the door, then please do leave it below. Please do, if you haven't yet, jump in the Discord community, totally free to join, hang out with us in the general chat, build some community with other people. Like, it's awesome to come and hang out with me and Alex and Will, but I'm telling you, all the people that you know and love from the chat here, Tori and Rick and Sonoran and Angel and on and on and on, all these people you see again and again who make the show great, they're in there too. And it is as valuable for you to get to know them as it is to get to know us. You will learn as much from them. You will teach as much to them as we aspire to teach you. That's how Alex and I met. That's why Alex and I are here today, is because we started as friends online, hanging out, trying to learn this stuff in the context of a community. And it changed everything. All that I know because of my friends in the community. And so we want to help you replicate that experience. There's nothing special about us. I mean, yeah, we're super good looking and smell great and women and animals love us, but we're just regular people. We're absolutely regular people, and there's nothing special about, like, our skill set or our brains. We're not like some super genius who has all the right answers that you will never know. You can learn exactly what we know and surpass us, we hope. We hope that you will surpass us, that you'll get a big yacht somewhere, and then you'll come, hire us as consultants or pool boys. And we will be wealthier for it. So that's kind of my final thought, is sign up for all the good stuff. Join us back here tomorrow. Alex and I are going to make a video today about how to navigate the Discord, because it has gotten a little overwhelming. We want it to be easy for you. What do you think, Alex? You got anything to add to that? Any good fortune cookies? Bits of wisdom or humor as we take our dogs and ponies into the sunset?
I don't think so. I will say, Angel, you had asked earlier about the difference between Shrapnel's different token contracts on different chains. I have been trying, since you said that, to figure out exactly what we're looking at, because CoinGecko lists a few different like supported chains. Like, I mean, they have 6. Sorry, that's the wrong one. They have 3 or 4, right? There's the BNB, Ethereum, Avalanche, and one other or something. To be very honest, I would just stick with the Avalanche one. I can't find the ETH thing, but there is zero mention on their social media of ETH stuff. There's zero mention on their website about ETH stuff. Like, it is an Avalanche. They have their own C chain. Or they're on C chain with their own subnet. It is an Avalanche project. I would stick to AVAX related stuff. I think there was another question kind of tied into that one too, about like the benefits of holding Shrapnel versus just holding Avalanche. That one really depends on whether or not on the bet that you're making. If you hold Shrap, the bet that you're making is that Shrapnel will continue to crush and grow and be great and be big. And granted, they're doing a great job. Team seems solid. They're killing it. Game's super fun. I highly recommend playing it. It's free. You can download it on Epic. You can play it with your Epic Games account. Like, remember this the next time you see a TikToker telling you that all we need for Web3 gaming to work is a good, fun game, because there's a bunch. I just did a tournament with a bunch of friends last Thursday playing Moonray. That was really fun. And that's a totally free game too that I downloaded from Epic Games. And I didn't need to buy a single thing. It was 100% free. And if you want to play that one, let me know, and I'll see if I can get you a referral code because it's in closed beta right now. So I only got in because my buddy was streaming it and he's friends with the company. But when it launches, it's free. If you download it now, you'll have it for free forever. They will start charging in a few months, but you can download it for free right now. And it was super fun. It kind of gave me Quake vibes. If anyone has ever played Quake before, Quake is a classic. Like, I guarantee there's got to be a comment coming about how good Quake is. Someone's played Quake. But yeah, it was really good. So like just the one I was just talking about, Craig, is called Moonray. One word, Moonray. But I mean, Shrapnel, Moonray, Gods Unchained, Parallel. Like, there are really, really good games. Or if you bought Avalanche and you were holding Avalanche because of gaming, you were going to bet that Avalanche was going to be the place that games were going to win or just do really well. So they're two different bets. So it really depends like what you believe or what your conviction is, you know, whether you would buy Shrapnel or whether you would buy Avax. And I would definitely say before you buy Shrap, you should play it because it's free and you should play it. And you should not buy it until you play it because how will you know whether it's fun or not if you don't give it a shot?
That's very well said.
If for anyone who's curious, Shrapnel is basically like Escape from Tarkov Jr. It's an extraction shooter. It is. God, Doug's just killing it. Doug, you certainly don't have to keep sending us so many presents, but we do love you and we do appreciate it.
It is very kind. I mostly use my gifts to pay back other creators on TikTok. So just know that when you pay, I pay forward.
Yep. But yeah.
All these things. I don't know, man. My favorite gift to receive for the lulz is the sunglasses that go like this and the cowboy hat with the mustache because, I mean,
like it when my mustache gets a mustache.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Alex, man, I appreciate you and all the value you bring to my life, to my morning. I appreciate everybody. I want to send a special shout out. We've had a couple of folks that have joined the exclusive Rise Up Morning Show Mug Club. The club is growing. If you're a Premium Plus member in the Discord and you haven't gotten your mug yet, get at me and I will make sure you get one. Oh my gosh, there it is. Yeah, man, like a cowboy drinking out of a coffee mug like this. Does it get any better? Honestly, no. I hope it gets a little better than that. You know, that if that was peak life, I guess I'd be okay, but you know. If you haven't got your mug yet, get in there. If you're not in the Discord yet, get in there and then get back with us tomorrow. Alex, I'm gonna maybe run Ricky the dog outside and let him do a little thing, but then I'm good to go. Just ping me and we'll make this video to help make Discord make sense for everybody. So
yep, same thing. Sounds good. And then we will see you guys here tomorrow, same time, same place.
Be well, my friends. Thank you for being the best part of the show. Until next time, everybody, rise up.